Hi guys, this is Markella, and I know you guys are here because you were highly requesting that I sit down and film an in-depth tutorial on how to complete the perfect brow. If you keep on watching, I will show you the products that you'll need and I will demonstrate how to use them all. Disclaimer, I will show you what I use and what works best for me. That does not at all mean that it's gonna work for you. I mean, if you're interested in this tutorial, then keep on watching. The first thing that you're going to need is a brow pencil. I have in front of me here 3 of my favorite brow pencils. The first one being the NYX Micro Brow in the color Brunette. I prefer this pencil only because, as you can see, my brows are already pretty thick. They get bad, they're thick. So I need a pencil with that waxy feel that gives me a little bit of a tug, so that I don't dispense too much product on my brow. So that's one of my favorite. The other one that I use is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in the color dark brown. I use it, of course, for that same reason. And the other one is the Colourpop in the color Bangin Brunette for the very same reason. They do not dispense that much product on my brow at once. Like, if you guys have somewhat of a hairy brow, or because I know there are people that don't have much brows, they don't have brows at all. So for those people, they might prefer what's called a pomade. You could either use that, a pomade, like a gel, it has a gel-like consistency to fill in your brow, or you could use a pencil. The other product that you will need to clean up that brow is a concealer of your choice. I am going to show you the 3 concealers that I prefer. We all know the old faithful, the holy grail, the L.A Girl Pro Conceal. I use this one in the color Toffee, and I do have a second one that I use for an everyday brow, which is Toast. So with these 2, I could create the perfect brow. I will show you how to use this to clean up your brow later on in the video. My other old faithful is the Cream Concealer by Anastasia Beverly Hills. The difference between the Anastasia Beverly Hills Concealer and the L.A Girl Pro Concealer is that the Anastasia is more of a cream consistency. So that one's a lot thicker, and I believe that makes it a lot easier to work with. The L.A Girl Pro Conceal gives you like the most snatched brow, but because of its liquid consistency, it makes it a lot harder to work with. For people who are beginners, which is what my channel will be based on, is beginner friendly products. I would definitely, this one is so much more bang for your buck, but I believe the Anastasia Cream Concealer is so much easier to work with. Now, like I said, you guys are going to be playing around with these products as you go along, and you'll figure out what works best for you. But these products are what works for me. And of course, last but not least, in concealers. So I use this for days where I want to look beat for the gods, but my eyebrows are so bushy that there's no concealer that will cover it up the way that I like it. I will reach for my MAC Studio Finish Concealer in the color NW45. Now, brushes. Okay, I believe this is an important part because to me, my brows are nothing if I don't clean them up with that concealer. And if you don't have the right brushes or the right brush to blend and carve out your brow, then none of it was worth it, really. So one of my favorites to use, of course, is and I'll give you other options, but my favorite brush to use is my double-headed brow brush. This one is from Morphe. This is the R44, and I believe I paid $5 for this. I ordered it from the Morphe website, and I like the fact that it had a flat, angled, and dense brush on one end, and it had a spoolie on the other, both of which you're going to need when completing your brow. If you aren't comfortable, which I feel like this is the easiest one to work with, but if you aren't comfortable with a brush like this, which is flat and angled, you could go for something like this, which is completely flat. It is not angled at all. It is a dense brush, which would really pack on that product for you so that you could apply it to your brows. This one is the Morphe M432. Again, I think this brush was at best $4. I literally think this was $4. And like I said, this is a Morphe 432 brush. I'll link everything below that I used in the brow tutorial for you so that you could either try it out and see if it's something that will work for you. The other brush that I find this one a lot harder to work with. This is why I don't use it a lot. Again, I bought all these products to try them out to see which one would be best for me. So that's what you would need to do. You'd kind of have to play around really to see what works best for you. And this one was one of the first ones that I bought, which is from Morphe. It's the M705. And I thought it was a little bit difficult to work with. I don't know, maybe a pro would be able to use that better. And it wasn't as dense to me. It's really like, it's soft and it's not as dense as I like my brow brush to use. But you never know. This might work perfectly for somebody who's even starting out. It might work perfect for them, but for me, this one wasn't it. And the last one I have here is this round. It is flat. It is dense, a lot denser than I thought it was. But it is dense, and it's a flat brush. My favorites aren't round brushes. Like I said, my favorites are either a flat dense brush or a flat angled dense brush. So these are my two favorites, and they're both from Morphe, and these are the two that I prefer to use. So when you're looking for an eyebrow brush, those are the things that you're gonna look for when purchasing a brow brush. You wanna feel it to make sure that it's dense enough to your liking. You wanna make sure that it's thin enough to really get in there, because your brows are really, especially for people who have small hooded eyes, you really want to get a small tapered flat brush that's really going to get product in there for you. So now we have it. I am going to use my favorite products for you to show you how I complete the perfect brow. All right, I brought you guys a lot closer than I expected. Too close to comfort, but anything for you guys. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to brush my hairs into place. Brush them upwards and into place. Then I'm gonna flip my brow pencil over, and I am going to line my brows, both on the top and the bottom, and fill in all of the gaps in the sparse areas of my brow. Granted, I know I am the worst person to demonstrate brows on because I feel like my brows grow in so thick and heavy. You want to blend that product in. Fill it into your liking. So if you didn't have as thick of a brow that I do, what you'd first do is outline your brow with your pencil, and then you'd fill it in and fill in the gaps. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of that Toffee concealer, and I'm just gonna dispense it on the back of my hands like so. I am going to dip my brush in, not too much product, just make sure that both sides of your brush is saturated with product. All right, so now you're going to start. I never start from the front of my brow, and that's preference to me because I feel like when you're first going in, you're going in with so much product that you don't want it to be in the beginning of your brow. You kind of want to start on the middle, the inner third of your brow. And slowly work that product in. And then you go back to the end and finish that off. See, I did that entire brow and there's still product on there to get to the front of it. So that's why you don't want to go directly to the front of your brow, because you will mess that up real quick. So again, and try to get as precise as possible. It's so hard to do this while talking because I usually hold my breath to fill in my brows. And then use the rest of the product and drag it down. I do it this way because when I'm done with this tutorial, I am gonna be filming an eye look, and I'm going to be using this concealer as the base for that eyeshadow. So I'm just blending that all in, making sure it's all even, and I'm dragging it all the way down to my eyelids. You blend for your life. Now, here's a trick that I was telling you guys about when it comes to doing my brow. If you noticed, I used a color that was like 3 or 4 shades lighter than my actual skin tone to give me that highlighted brow bone look when my eye look is actually completed. What I do for the top, because I don't want to use something so light on the top of my brow, I used the L.A Girl Pro Conceal in the color Toast, which is exactly my skin tone, on the upper portion of my eyebrow so that I could avoid that halo look. I'm not sure if you guys notice, in a lot of flash photography you'll see a lot of females where they have that white line above their brow bone. I despise that look. I feel like that look, I just hate it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put some of that on the top of my hand. Using that same brush, I'm just dipping my brush into it with very little product. Again, I'm not going to start at the beginning of my brow. I'm gonna kind of start in a third of my brow. And I'm just gonna outline with that concealer very lightly. I'm barely touching my skin, you guys. Get my tail. I'm barely touching, then I'm gonna go back and join that in. Now that I have that outlined, I'm gonna, to avoid that line, you wanna make sure you don't have that line, ladies. So you blend that out. You could take your fingers, you could take another brush, but I prefer to use my fingers and kind of just blend that out. And if you feel like there's something that you don't like, then you could actually dip back in, go back. There you have it. One brow is complete. Do I look weird? I look weird. Guys, I look weird. Again, you brush upwards. Then you flip your brush over. And I'm first outlining my brow, making sure it's same length and size as the other. Working on my tail. See why I like this brush? Because it doesn't dispense too much product at once. And now with hair-like strokes, I'm just going to fill in my brows. And one more time, just going to blend that out. All right, going back in with my double-headed brush, going back in with my light concealer on both sides. Going in with that dark color on the back of my hand with very little product. I'm gonna go into the top of my brow, starting out on the outer third, or inner third rather. And drag it out lightly. I do it in short strokes because what I notice is when I go in with these long strokes, I am always prone to mess up going that way. So I use short strokes. To avoid any accidents. Now, as we all know, our brows are gonna be sisters, but they're definitely not gonna be twins. So no judgment zone here, guys. No judgments. I'm watching y'all. And I'm gonna show you guys something funny. I'm gonna blend that in. Blend that in. Now, one of my pet peeves is when people stop right here and they're done. So what about this, sis? What are we doing with this? What are we gonna do about that, sis? Huh? 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 What are we gonna do about that? You're going to blend that sucker out, okay? We're going to blend it out. We're gonna disconnect those sisters. They cool or whatever, but they don't need to be that close. So we're gonna blend that out. We're gonna go down our brows and blend it out. That way, separating your brows. Cause Lord knows I can't take it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Them suckers need to be separated. They could be in love, but there needs to be some space, okay? There gotta be some space. And there you have it, guys. And then you could either go back and blend some more. If you feel like they're too dark, you take your spoolie and you blend. That way, because I'm telling you, what you don't see in the dark gonna definitely come out in flash photography. All right. There you have it, ladies. And your brows are done. Now, if that wasn't in depth enough, then I just don't know. I don't know. This is it. It could be a lot simple, but you asked for fleek brows, so here it is. Okay? Here it is. Now, I am gonna go continue to do, yes, I gotta come out, because Lord knows, this was too up close and personal for me. They cute or whatever. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, be sure to put your comments below. Like this video. It will encourage me to do some more. And shout outs to everyone who DM'd me consistently saying that it is time to put a video out and it's time to show them how to do my brows. So I've given you guys the products that I used and I've showed you how to use them. Now it's time for you guys to figure out what works best for you and go out there and show me your brows. When you do your brows, be sure to tag me in it so I can film myself. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment below and like the video.